the Heartland Business and Event Center nestled in vibrant downtown Jesup, Iowa. Welcome to the cradle of the resistance. We are the underground, the voice of rebellion, and we're alongside producer Blake Tempus and co-host Dale Rueber. I'm Jim Gillespie, and this is the news for February 23rd, 2026. Another sponsor who's been with us since the birth of the C. Brown Arts Center is Derek's Repair, located in Jesup, Iowa. Contact Derek Marty for your car repair needs. Also, check out the podcast, What Is Up, with our friend Bubba Seaman. On that podcast, they talk about everything with everyone. Nothing is off the table, discussing real life with real people, the good and the bad, the highs and lows, and everything funny in between. It's interesting yet entertaining podcast with real people talking about what is up.
You know, I only met him I was in Fairbank Saturday evening, and we were in the same restaurant. He came over and started talking to me, and I finally said, "Okay, you have to tell me who you are." He said, "Oh yeah, you're Bubba, that's right." And so I talked to him a few minutes. So that's the first time I'd seen him. You know, I don't know, was it a year we were over there?
Right.
I don't know, but it's one of those things where I should know you, but I really can't tell you who you are. But, he was very nice.
I'm having breakfast with him and his wife Sarah on Saturday morning.
Okay, well, tell him I said hello. I was glad to see him.
I will tell you that I will tell him that you said you remembered him.
Yeah, after he told me who he was, I remembered him.
All right. Anyhow, tonight our guest is Brittney Nelson. She is Dandy the Fairy from Waterloo. Welcome, Brittney.
Thank you.
Yeah. Brittney is involved in, she calls them Ren Fairs, correct?
Yep. Renaissance festivals.
Renaissance festivals.
Yeah. Okay. Renaissance festivals. And tonight down the road, we will talk about, it's her dream to have a Renaissance festival, Black Hawk, Buchanan County, somewhere in our area. Mm-hmm. So we will talk about that. But Brittney, tell the audience what are you doing now outside the Renaissance Fair? You're living in Waterloo, what you're doing, etc.
Like in general?
Yeah.
Other than Renaissance fairs, I actually DoorDash on the side. That's my main job when I'm not being a fairy. And then, I live in Waterloo on an acreage with my boyfriend and my 4 kids.
Okay.
Okay. Tell us about DoorDash in a little bit. Have you ever used that, Dale?
No, I haven't. I was going to say, I'm trying to figure out what that is. But
people place orders and I go pick up their food, or I picked up car parts, I picked up whatever, and then I deliver it to them. Today I did it in costume.
Really?
Okay. We used to call that a delivery person, but now it's a DoorDasher.
Yeah.
A dash from door to door.
Yep.
Okay. Well, that's right. I think I've often thought that would be like a fun job.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd be out on the road and meet different people real quick. And so.
It's basically the only thing that I can currently do, unfortunately. Otherwise, I was a machinist for a really long time. But after I was a paraeducator with Jim, having 4 kids, and most factories usually they have point systems, so you only have so many points that you can use before you lose your job.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, when you have 4 kids, you go through sick days, all that, and then on top of it, Ren fairs. I'm a really busy person, especially around fair season. Last year, I was working 3rd shift, so I'd go for 2 fair days in a row, and then that same night, I'd have to go into work that Sunday, and was just dead.
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't take a day off. Yeah. So, DoorDash, I get to choose my schedule, and I get to do what I want to do, and make the money I want to make, and stop dashing when I'm ready. And it's kind of been a lifesaver. My boyfriend actually suggested it because he was like, I think this is kind of what we need, especially with fair.
Sure.
Because then I don't have to worry about, if my kid's sick, am I going to lose my job? No, I'm not, because I just turned my dasher off and I'm good.
Are there people that make their whole living just doing Renaissance fairs? friends?
Yeah, I have tons of friends. I actually, that's another one of my goals is I want to be running full time. I would love to do this full time.
And what's the season in general in the Midwest?
April, like spring to Halloween is usually the Midwest, but there are places like Texas do it year round, and that'd be fun to be able to go to those ones, or Minnesota.
Yeah, I've heard years ago about the one in Minnesota. It's supposed to be very big.
It is. Yep.
I think even maybe high school kids went there on field trips or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's got to be places like Renaissance restaurants that would want someone like you, I would guess, to work there.
I don't know. I know that they have medieval times, but I don't know where that's located. And I don't think that I really fit into that demographic because I'm a fairy. I'm not exactly historically accurate.
Right.
But yeah, no, there probably are. I've thought about even like maybe I could turn this into like just a walk-in shop where people can have birthday parties and stuff like that too. So like I have tons of ideas for expansion. I want to be able to hire my own fairies to go to other fairs and stuff like that too, to do what I do.
So when you got in, and I don't know how long when you got into this and you had to come up with a costume, was there a guide somewhere, or did you see someone else, you just started on your own and this is what you came up with?
So the way that I started out with everything is I actually I babysat for Ia Jeannie's Scots and Knots. She has 2 kids. She's in Independence. She's got a storefront on Main Street, or First Street, and she sells corsets. I'm actually wearing one of her corsets. Okay. She sells just garb, Renaissance garb, and she'll sell for men and women. She doesn't have as much for men, unfortunately. I was helping her out. She asked if I could come and help her at a fair because she didn't have enough people to come help her, and I didn't even expect to get paid or anything. I just wanted to go and have a weekend away from my kids. Sure. So I was super excited. I knew about it for months. I was like, well, I want to dress like a fairy. And that's how this started. Yeah. For the people who can't see me, I have mushrooms and moss on my face. It's a bit of a spore problem. I don't know. I just fell in love. I loved going. I was going every year with her to help her, and every fair well, not every fair, but as many fairs as I could make it to without, getting in trouble with the husband at the time. Yeah. And I was basically putting corsets on ladies, and she was, eventually it got to a point where she was like, you know what, you can't be cooped up in this tent anymore. You need to go out and do your own thing. So she just kind of pushed me to start my own thing. She talked to Mike Amos, who runs the Midwest fairs. She was like, can she become an entertainer? And he was like, absolutely. We'd love for her to be an entertainer, And I was like, yeah, what do I do? Because all I can do is art. I'm very crafty, but how do I turn that into entertainment? And then one day I just kind of got the idea. I was watching, there's a TikTok where this guy rolls a D20 to make sandwiches, and he rolls the D20 and that tells him what goes into his sandwich. So I was like, okay, I'll build a whole cart. So I built a whole wooden cart and decorated it up with flowers, fake flowers, moss. There's little animals and creatures hidden all over it. Okay. And I was like, okay, we're gonna roll the D20 and people get to choose, or not choose, but the D20 chooses what goes into their potion.
So now, Brittney, before you go on here, explain to old people like me what a D20 is and where that comes from and stuff like that.
A D20 is a 20-sided dice. I have a basket that has separate things in it, 20 separate things, 3 sets of things, items, I guess, or 4 if you count the dies. But you roll the D20, whatever number it lands on. I grab the number of bottle that coincides.
Okay, that'd be something like what you have here.
Yep. So that's this one. It's got glitter and
okay. So we show it. Is it
extra extra stuff.
skull. It's got a lid. Is that a screw on, or is it a
No,
wax,
it is a cork.
Okay,
I wax seal everything at my cart.
Okay.
So you get to watch me wax seal it and stamp it and everything.
Okay, and then there's glitter inside, so it's like a snow.
Like a snow. I call them Ren Fair snow globes, but they're sensory bottles.
But that was snow globe.
And I do have choices. You can pick either a plastic bottle or a glass bottle.
Okay.
People with children typically pick the plastic ones, but yeah, it's
okay. So
it's
you
a lot
get this.
of fun.
This is the bottle.
Yep, you get the bottle. You choose your bottle.
What comes next?
Then you stand up at the I have a table, and you roll the D20.
Okay.
I have one right here. Am I on camera?
Yes, you are.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
I did not know.
That's
okay, so this is a D20.
Okay.
I have it in my fancy necklace, and we do have these as well. They come with your bottle for free.
Okay.
So you roll the D20, and whatever it lands on, I got a 9. Then I grab whatever number 9 is, and I put it in the bottle.
Okay. What would it possibly be? Like, is it?
It could be a type of glitter in a certain color, or it could be we just got, because we're changing our stuff around a little bit. We had to experiment from last year. I was using like clay pieces, and they're like little clay, I don't even know, like charm, but they were melting in the water and disappearing, so I couldn't use those anymore. So yeah, we had to change things up. So now I have little acrylic figures and stuff that can go into them. That's the very last roll, but you got dye, glitter, the acrylic piece, and then the mica powder.
Okay.
And that's what gives your potion its shimmer, because the glitter it's not the only thing. Like, it's that lighter kind of glittery stuff.
You can see it reflecting in the light.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Okay, and then you put the cork in?
Yep, I put the cork on after, like, the liquid's already in it before I start. And then we put the cork on, and then I have a pot of hot wax on my cart it's battery powered. Magic. It's battery powered. So, what I do is I dip it in there, and then I ask them because I deal with both adults and children, so I'll ask them if they would like a fairy stamp or a mushroom stamp. Yep, it's a dirty joke.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But yeah, some people get it and some people don't.
That's okay. That don't get it. Okay, that's all right. Yeah, you can tell me later what it is. Okay.
Oh, maybe.
We'll have to look it up on the World Wide Web.
There you go.
Okay, and then the person would take that with them.
Yeah. So once they go through all of that, I do. Have you ever seen Pee-wee's Playhouse?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I reference Pee-wee's Playhouse, and I do credit Jambi the genie, but I use his enchantment to enchant the potions to make them work. So
and when they're working, what does that mean?
That means they're going to calm you down.
Okay, that's what it's for.
Humans are really stressed.
Oh, I know that.
They need something to calm.
Okay, so that's the selling point. Is it calms you down? Okay.
Yep. They're sensory bottles. A lot of kids with autism use them, and that was one thing too. Is I wanted to be able to help people, but make something neat and creative. Sure. So that's what I came up with.
Okay. For just to start on your own and figure this all out, I think it's just fantastic.
Yeah, my boyfriend was kind of shocked. He didn't think any of this was going to work.
Well, how men are.
He didn't have much. He didn't have much faith in me.
Well, I have to admit, I don't know if somebody came over and said, I don't think that's going to work. I probably would be right there with him.
Well, Brittney, hold on. We're going to take a break here, and we're going to come back for the second half of our three-part show here. We're with Dandy the Fairy here, Brittney Nelson, and she goes to Renaissance fairs, and we'll be right back. This is T. Brown Arts Center Podcast Network. This is T. Brown Arts Center Podcast Network, and we're back with Brittney Nelson, Dandy the Fairy.
Yes.
First, Dandy, I've got to ask this question because you brought it up the first segment, and I know the listeners were listening. You DoorDashed today in that outfit. Tell us about your experience DoorDashing today in that outfit.
It was a pain in the butt.
I'll bet you it was.
But my favorite thing was just driving past people and them looking at me through the windows, and they're just smiling ear to ear. Yeah. Or like some people will speed up to like try and get a second look.
Sure.
And that's pretty great too. Yeah. But I think my favorite thing is just the smiles on everybody's faces.
So everybody comes to the door. They're not shy or anything.
Some people just do drop off at their door, but I see so many people when I'm picking up and dropping off. I saw a little girl, and I carry trinkets with me. They're little tiny 3D printed potion bottles. So I gave her one of those.
Oh yeah.
But yeah.
Messy.
Yeah. And she was waving at me. She was all happy, but I wasn't even wearing my wings. I can't fit in my van with.
Yeah, I was wondering about that.
So I have to take them off whenever I get in the vehicle, but otherwise I totally would.
So you obviously must be able to put them on yourself some way. Okay.
Yep. They go down the back of my corset.
Okay.
So I just put them on that
stick or something.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's more like a U shape.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
All right.
What about when you walked into restaurants today to get the orders? How did they react?
I didn't have a single person not staring at me.
Yeah.
Lots of eyes on me everywhere I went.
Yeah.
The guy, when I went to go pick up some, it was at trying to think of it's a chicken place over by KWWL.
Okay.
It's like a gas station.
Mm-hmm.
They sell fried chicken and stuff, and when I went in there, the guy behind the counter was like, I was like, calm down, I'm just a fairy.
So how long does it take you from getting up to get ready like this?
3 to 4 hours to do everything. It really depends. And sometimes I have to wake up really early to make it to Ren Fair in time and be ready when I get there.
Okay.
And what is the hardest part about getting ready, Brittney?
Putting my mushrooms on.
Putting your mushrooms on your face, you're talking about. Yep. Why is that difficult?
Because I have hereditary hand tremors. So when I go to try to stick them to my face, they sometimes will just fall right back off.
Oh, okay.
But it's all eyelash glue.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. How many do you have on tonight?
I think 11.
So I got 11.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What is your schedule? You had your schedule up. What's the first one you go to? And give the audience like examples of your schedule. I brought up on the Ren list, and there are hundreds of them throughout the country.
There are so many Ren fairs in the United States, and I've been invited to most of them. But the problem with that is location, and can they accommodate me? Because first of all, I can't pay vendor fees if I'm traveling that far. Mm-hmm. Secondly, they're gonna have to pay for my stay, so my hotel stay, my gas, and all my accommodations while I'm there. And some fairs aren't big enough to do that. Mm-hmm. So if I'm traveling, it has to be a larger fair. We just bought a trailer for the business with last year's earnings, and it's like a 10 by 12. And what we want to do is turn that into like a whole traveling shop. That way we can just open up the back, pull the car out, and just start that way. That way pick up and tear down is just easy.
Sure, that makes a lot of sense.
But yeah, travel is the biggest one. So right now we're looking at the Midwest, and we're probably going to stick to the Midwest for like the next 5 years until we've built enough and have enough of a following that we can travel further.
So do these big fairs, do they have like scouts that go out to other fairs to look for people? Is that how they found you?
Yeah, Texas actually. One of their fairs, it's actually a nighttime fair. They had given us some flyers for their stuff this last season. I'm trying to think. I think I was in Amana. It was my very first weekend, and they invited us out.
Yeah.
So, people love it. Word of mouth is super fast because my lines are so long that I don't get a break the entire day that I'm there. And it's usually we run from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Okay.
So
it's a long day.
Yeah.
What is your schedule here? Tell us your schedule.
Okay, so I have 15 fairs lined up this year, but my very first one is April 18th and 19th at Prairie Rose Renaissance Festival, and that is in Ames.
Oh, okay.
I think that's the right weekend. I know they changed it, but I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure that's the right
April?
one. Yep.
Okay.
April 18th and 19th.
Okay.
And then April 25th and 26th, I have Fairfield. Then May 23rd and 25th, Iowa Renaissance Festival, as well as the following weekend on the 29th and 30th.
And where's that at?
That's out at Amana.
Okay.
Yep, the Amana colonies. They have literally, if you just put in your maps, Amana colonies soccer fields, it'll take you right there.
Okay.
Then we got Indiana 2 weekends in a row, June 13th and 14th, and then the 20th and 21st. And then July is in Lincoln, Nebraska. That's on the 18th and 19th. August 29th and 30th is Nebraska again, but it's not Lincoln, it's another one. Then September 26th and 27th are Quad Cities. October 23rd and October 3rd and 4th, are Quad Cities again. And Iowa Renaissance 2 weekends in a row, the 10th and 11th, and then the 17th and 18th. And then October 31st and 1st are Denmark, Iowa Renaissance festivals.
Down by Fort Madison.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, I've heard, because I've never been there, but I've heard it's a big old hill that you have to walk across to get on both sides of the fair. So I don't know how that's going to work, but we'll see. And I'm really excited for new fairs and new friends and just lots of new things to come.
Right.
It's nice to see you find something that you enjoy so much. I mean, you can just tell that you enjoy doing this. And so, and I guess I would too, wouldn't you? If you had to dress up and make people happy.
It really is an absolute pleasure. I love it.
Yeah, well, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, I see. I've got those Renaissance schedules up here. In Prairie Rose Renaissance Festival is on there for the 18th and 19th.
Yep. They had it the weekend before, and then they changed it. I'm not sure why.
Well, now, you got to tell me here, that's still early in the year. Is it outside or is it inside?
They are all outside. Rain, never, wind, all that, we are still outside.
Okay.
I've been to fairs where we have had to literally hold the tents down while we're working because it's so windy. So I'm not sure how prepared I am, but we'll see.
So do you get a chance to walk around and see what other kinds of things would people see at a Renaissance fair?
So they have a whole section for food, lots of turkey legs, if you like turkey legs.
You see always pictures of somebody walking around
they'll
with
eat turkey legs, or they have breweries and stuff set up. And then usually you'll see a lot of like furs or oddities, and you'll see artwork and just all kinds of handmade products. Basically anything that you'd see at like a craft fair, you'd probably see at a Ren fair.
Okay.
But also there's people that are lane performers. Like I have a friend, his name's Pascal, and he literally just does like tarot readings. And then I have another friend, he plays a barbarian, and he just goes and wreaks havoc across the whole fair. It's just so fun.
Okay, and people like that, are they there as paid performers, or how do they make money?
Some of them are. Some of them, a lot of us run just solely solely off of tip. Tipping is very important at your local run fairs. There's been this big controversy because people are tipping with trinkets, and we can't pay our bills with trinkets. So a lot of performers don't like getting trinkets, but some of them, like me, I like it. I like seeing what gifts people bring me. There's knights, and
I see. Is there like horses or jousting and sword fighting?
There's jousting. There's sword fighting. I have friends who do all that too. Yep.
Because I think that would be very interesting.
It is. It is a blast.
I don't know why I've been to one.
I'm not sure either.
Yeah.
You're missing out.
I am, and I better go pretty soon because I'm running out of time.
Yeah,
so.
April.
I'm finding dates here, Dale. That you and I will have to go and take the show on the road here.
Okay, we have to dress up though.
Come visit me.
Yeah,
we will. I like the Amana. I love the Amanas. I didn't realize the Mennonites did that. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's so fun. And Amos he's really great at making sure that like him and his whole crew are really great at making sure like the atmosphere is good, making sure that the wrong people aren't associated. Because you do have that sometimes at Ren fairs.
What is Amos's last name again?
His name is Mike Amos, so his last name is Amos.
Mike Amos. And where is he from?
I'm not even sure. I just know I worked with him. I don't know where he lives. I wonder if I can check.
Well, we don't need it.
Oh.
No, that's all
we
right.
don't give out any addresses over the area. So,
no, I'm not sure where he resides at, but I know like my friend, she runs Red Paw Leather. Her name's Raven. She lives in NOLA down south.
In New Orleans.
Yeah.
Is that her real name, Raven?
No, it's Jennifer Raven is her name. We call her Raven.
Yeah, well.
And one thing you'll find at Renaissance festivals is that's almost all the vendors' names.
Raven? Oh.
They all like it. I don't know what it is, but it's something that I found.
Yeah.
So what do they call you, Dandy or the Fairy?
They call me Dandy.
Dandy.
Yep, Dandy the Fairy. There's more than one fairy at the fairs that I go to. There's Titania, and she's one that follows more like the mythology and stuff like that, and she does like fairy pole dancing, and she does a lot of just walking around and visiting with people, and then she has her own show that she puts on. And that's another thing that I want to eventually do, is have like a show where I make potions right there with people, like big ones. So like scientific interactive ones that have like reactions and things. So I want to do kids' birthday parties too. That's a big thing as well.
Well, you would think, Dandy, that there's so many festivals in our part of the state, starting basically Memorial Day and going from Memorial Day to Labor Day. You can go to at least 2 a weekend. You mentioned having another fairy or fairies working for you. You would think that just locally, I mean, like Troy Mills has one, and Kowalski has one, and Aurora has one.
But Buchanan County, almost every town has, no matter how small they are, has a weekend anyway. So.
Yeah, we want to do stuff like that too. Really looking into trying to get into like the local ones like Irish Fest, because I'd fit right in. Irish Fest and Pride Fest and all of those. Even my Waterloo Days, whatever they call them. All that.
Yeah, well, Sturgis Falls is real big. And they have a lot of people come.
The Island Days up in Fairbanks. Obviously, Farmers Days here in town, and it's never ending. I want to go back as we finish this segment. Now we got about 5 minutes here. Let's talk about that store again in Independent. Give us the name again.
Jeannie's Scots and Knots.
And what's the Jeannie stand for?
So she told me once it has to do with a family member who couldn't pronounce her name properly. Her name's actually Lisa.
So it's not Jeannie as in G-E-N, like a genie out of a bottle. It's Jeannie, like a girl's name?
G-E-A-N-I-E.
Okay, all right.
Yep.
Okay.
I don't really know the full, like I can't recite what the story was behind the name, but it was just a mixture of things and a company that she took over that was making kilts. And I think from what I understand, she was making kilts and had learned the craft from somebody else. So she wanted to kind of honor them as well. Unfortunately, I was with her my very last year working with her. I sold her very last kilt. She doesn't make kilts anymore. Yeah. So it's not so much Scots and knots anymore, but definitely still knots because she makes the corsets and stuff. But yeah, she makes corsets and garb and her skirts. I don't know. I have one on underneath here. Sorry, it's layers. Okay, so she makes these skirts and you can fit so much in the pockets.
Oh, yeah.
It goes all the way up to my elbow.
Wow.
Yeah,
you can fit pockets.
You can fit a Captain Morgan bottle in each side.
That's what we did.
Too bad I stopped drinking Captain Morgan.
I stopped wearing dresses, so doggone it.
Oh, dang. Do you have any pictures you in dresses?
They're really
I don't
comfy,
allow any pictures.
But they're really comfy and they keep me warm. They're not too hot in the summer. She's got dress hikes that you put on and that brings up your skirt so that you can get some airflow. But it was just a lot. It was just a lot of fun. I loved working with her and helping her at her fairs. So, yeah.
Wow. Brittney Nelson, Dandy the Fairy, thank you so much for coming.
This has been very nice.
Yeah.
Oh,
glad
what
you came.
fun. Yeah. What fun. And tell the audience where they can find information about you, Brittney.
I have, if you search Dandy the Fairy on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram, you'll find me. I'm on all of those platforms. Otherwise, I have.
Or you can call in an order for a hamburger or something, and you might you might bring it.
I might show up at your door with a DoorDash. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
Okay, that's great.
Thank you.
Great.
This is
thank you so very much.
This is Steve Brown Arts Center Podcast Network. We'll be right back. Hi, this is Steve Brown Arts Center Podcast Network, and we're back for the third half of our show. Thanks again to Brittney Nelson, Dandy the Fairy, for coming in.
That was pretty neat, wasn't it?
It was neat. It was neat. Learned a lot.
For someone to come up with the idea and put all the work into it and actually start going to these festivals and doing the work, I just find it, it's remarkable.
That's an artist to me.
Yeah, sure, because she came away all on her own. I mean, she saw others, but her whole thing is different than anybody else that's doing it, and I just think it's wonderful. So I admire people like that can do that.
I agree with you. So Dale, you mentioned you had something on food. What do you have on food?
Well, I'm going to talk about something else first. That's my big Phoenix thing. I'm going to talk about condoms. Okay, we mentioned on the show, I don't know it was last week before, about low birth rate and problem. People, well, China's having that same problem, and so in China they passed a law that all condoms and birth control devices now have to be on the top shelf in all the stores because, the Chinese men are shorter, so they think, well, maybe they won't see them up there and we'll have more babies. That's funny. That's what their answer is. And so it's interesting how you see one thing and then something relates to it. And I bet you did. If you were ordering condoms for the Winter Olympics, Jim, how many would you order?
Well, I've heard this before. The Summer Olympics is a big deal.
Summer is bigger, but the Winter Olympics.
How many? I would say upward around 100,000.
Okay, well, you're better. They ordered 10,000.
10,000.
They ran out in 3 days, so they had to make it. That was a calamity, and so they had this emergency order and everything. And some of the athletes are going on for like $128. They can get their own supplies online. But then the Olympic Committee also said that we have them. They're here, and we'll replenish them every day to make sure there's plenty around. And so I looked up in the Paris Olympics, the Summer Olympics. They ordered 300,000.
Okay.
That's 10,500 athletes, and they had 300,000 condoms there for them. And this Winter Olympics, like, I think between 2,000 and 3,000 athletes, but they still used 10,000. And they said, well, the article that I looked at said it's young athletic people in close quarters. So, but anyway, they're doing real well. So I just thought,
they're doing real well.
Well, apparently they are. Yeah. So
apparently,
but the quote was, "Be continuously replenished until the end of the games." And so,
okay.
Another thing, there's an article about cigarettes and tax. The taxes on cigarettes.
Sin taxes.
Yeah. And the article is in the Des Moines Register that the more taxes you have, the fewer cigarettes you sell, the more people quit smoking. Okay. So there's a separate article in Sunday's Register, and this person said if you raise the Iowa cigarette tax 68 cents, which would match the national average, if you raise 68 cents, research suggests that would cut the smoking rate in half.
In Iowa.
Yeah. In Iowa.
I spent a season working for a convenience store, and I thought people had cut back in smoking, and everybody that came into that convenience store bought cigarettes. So I could see that. I could see money costing.
Yeah. That's so. Well, we went the other night to see the Jesup girls. They beat Hudson, so they got to go to the next round. We don't know the results of that second game yet.
Grundy.
They play at Grundy. Yeah, they play at Grundy, and so it could be a tough game. Reminder: February 27th is the coffee house up at the school.
I got my tickets. I should have bought yours and Deb's. Forgive me.
Well, I'm going up tomorrow morning.
Okay.
Did you get them online?
I got it online.
Okay, I can't get that darn thing to work for me, so I don't know.
After the show, I'll go in and get yours and Deb's.
Okay. Well, I need 5.
Okay.
Okay. I take up a lot of... No, I just need 5. Okay. Well, you have to show it, because Okay. First week in March, girls' track practice and golf practice starts. That's just showing you that spring is coming.
And I'm sure they use Joe simulators down here.
More than likely. Yeah. I would if I was a golfer, just to get going with things. So last week on 60 Minutes, they interviewed Robert F. Kennedy Jr., which surprised the hell out of me, to tell you the truth, because that's nothing. But and he was talking about ultra-processed food. And in Europe, there are 400 acceptable additives when they're making like potato chips or cookies or whatever, and put them in packages.
400.
400. In the States, there's between 4,000 and 10,000. They don't even know how many. If they're generally accepted items, then the food companies can put them in, put it in. And they were saying this is causing a lot of the obesity, fatty livers, which is causing all kinds of problems with other organs then, and cancer and this sort of thing. And what really got me is they had a table with some of the items on there, and Oreos was on that. Oh no, not Oreos. But I tell you, when I went grocery shopping then the next day, I had read labels, and I have always thought, I always try to get products that have as few additives as possible. The fewer ingredients, the better it is for you. And so I even made some switches about things that I usually buy. And
interesting.
But they were comparing the big food companies to big tobacco, and how they had to go after big tobacco with Senate hearings and get those. They got the big tobacco, and you might remember that the big tobacco executives, they got them in before Congress and had them raise their hand and swear to tell the truth. And they started asking them about nicotine additives and this sort of thing. And that was the beginning of the end for smoking. That's when they started making all these regulations about smoking. And they said, we need to get these big food guys in front of Congress and have them raise their hand and swear to tell the truth, and see what they're really doing with food additives. So
I read somewhere where a number of the tobacco companies during that time bought a number of the food companies that time. So they transferred their scientists over from the tobacco companies to the food companies.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me at all. Yeah. Because it isn't bad enough, the tobacco had nicotine in, but they started manipulating it. The nicotine levels make it higher, make it more addictive. And then they started advertising. I remember when they started advertising Virginia Slims for women. To get women to smoke. And then I remember seeing a cartoon of Fred Flintstone was advertising Winston cigarettes. You had Fred Flintstone saying, Winston tastes good like a cigarette should, in his Fred Flintstone voice. So that's marketing kids. And they weren't real subtle about it. And everyone that smoked, if you saw the magazine ads, were young, beautiful women and strong, handsome young men with their big cigarettes. And then they showed the Marlboro Cowboy.
The original Marlboro Cowboy, he was the grandfather of the Seattle football team that just won the Super Bowl.
The grandfather of the owner?
No, the grandfather of the quarterback.
Of the quarterback.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
But all those old Marlboro men died unhealthy lives. So, okay. So and again, how one thing piggybacks on another. This article here, this is from the 15th of this month from the Register again. It's about grocery prices, which fits in with our food conversation here. Grocery prices keep climbing. The news cycles through global instability with the Trump administration eager to posture abroad while simultaneously waging a war at home and targeting populations of people who are absolutely vital to our food system and rural communities. The supply chain feels fragile because it is fragile. Pretending otherwise feels increasingly dishonest. We've heard a version of this story before. During World War II, Americans were urged to plant victory gardens. The familiar narrative goes like this. Farmers went to fight, food became scarce, and ordinary people stepped up to feed the nation. It's tidy, it's patriotic, and it's also incomplete. After Japan attacked Pearl Harbor, fear hardened quickly into policy. In 1942, President Franklin D. Roosevelt signed Executive Order 9066, authorizing the forced removal of more than 120,000 Japanese immigrants and Americans of Japanese descent into incarceration. 2/3 were U.S. citizens, imprisoned without charges, trials, or evidence of espionage. Many of the people removed were farmers, highly skilled ones. Japanese American growers produced a significant share of the nation's fruits and vegetables, particularly in California. When they were forced off their land, production dropped. White-owned agribusinesses moved in, but the loss of labor and generational knowledge rippled through the food system. Outside the camps, the federal government launched an aggressive victory garden campaign. Americans were urged to grow food at home. Posters promised self-reliance, morale, and unity. Gardening became a way to redirect fear and responsibility away from policy decisions and onto individual households. Food shortages during the war were shaped not only by global conflict, but by domestic choices that removed some of the most productive farmers in the country from the food system. That part matters because we are doing it again. We talk about immigrants, what we're doing with the immigrants. Today, we are destabilizing our food system not only by detaining people in ICE detention centers, but by creating a climate where showing up in public feels dangerous, regardless of documentation. Immigration enforcement does not need to knock on every door. Fear does most of the work. Workers with documentation stay home anyway. Parents pull their kids from school. People skip shifts, avoid clinics, change routes. Fields go unharvested. Processing plants run short-staffed. Small businesses feel it first when prices rise. Availability shrinks and food options narrow. The public is told this is just inflation or the fault of some other country or a personal failure. Once again, we are creating the instability we claim to be responding to. And once again, the solution offered is deeply individual. Grow your own food, be self-reliant, pick up the slack. It is the same logic that turns public policy failure into a household coping strategy. Growing food can build skills and connection. It can even offer some stability, but it cannot replace the skilled people who grow, harvest, process, and transport our food for a living, and that cannot substitute for policy. We keep responding to food system harm by managing households instead of fixing the policies that cause it. History has already shown us where that leads, and it gets right down to who's going to do the work. Mm-hmm. Somebody has to do the work. So anyway, with all these immigrants and we're a huge shortage, even in Iowa, be a huge shortage of farm workers. This could be the year where you see prices really go up and shortages really happen because a lot of the people that did the work are not around anymore.
Yeah.
So, okay. Yeah. All right, that's what I got.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you, Dale. We've got our friend Mason Fox over at EMS. He's our music ambassador. Okay. And Mason sent us his top 25 favorite artists. This week we will do 25 to 11. Next week we will do his top 10. All right. So at 25, they Dale. The famous Stevie Nicks.
Okay.
I had a crush on Stevie at one time.
Yeah, well, she's very attractive.
Number 24, Bellamy Brothers, Counting Flowers on the Wall, I believe is.
No, that was the Statler Brothers.
That was the Statler Brothers. Yes, it was.
Yeah.
The Bellamy Brothers.
Bellamy Brothers, I would have to, I don't know what song.
Old Hippie. That's one of them.
Okay.
Smokey Robinson, 23.
Very good singer.
The Greg Kinn Band, 22. Some hippie band that I don't know.
I don't know them. Yeah.
We listen to that long hair stuff for Mason. Number 21, Survivor. Number 20, Duran Duran.
Mm-hmm.
Never been a fan. Number 19, Dio. Do you know that? Blake, do you know Dio? No, I don't either. Number 18, Free.
Okay, I don't know that either.
I have no idea. Number 17, you gotta like this one, Chuck Berry.
Chuck Berry, yeah.
Yeah.
Big singer, My Ding-a-Ling.
There you go.
His best song. So.
I love that song. Number 16, Eric Carmen.
Do you know that's his only song that made it to number one?
Really?
Yeah, and you would not think that.
Number 16, Eric Carmen. Number 15, Mace knows I'm a big fan of Leo Slayers. When I Need You is one of my favorites of Sayers.
Okay.
Number 14, Don Williams. Never been a fan. Mom really enjoyed him. Number 13, Conway Twitty.
It's against the law to like the same singers your mom likes.
That's right.
Yeah. Conway Twitty, yeah.
Conway Twitty.
He started out like a rock and roll kind of guy back in the 50s, or at least then he changed over. And
Number 11 is Foreigner.
Okay.
So that's 25 to 11 next week at an underground location yet to be disclosed. We will give you Mason's top 10 performers of musical artists. So thank you, Mason Fox. We're glad you're listening to us as well. This is Steve Brown Arts Center Podcast Network. Dale, what else do you have for us locally?
Well, just a little library news. The exercise group is still going Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 8, and the card games on Tuesday at 1. And then what? They have tech help if you need that on Mondays at 9 o'clock. I think it's a quite popular service they offer. A Little Tot Story Time Thursdays at 10:30. Fun and play for toddlers and caregivers at 8 o'clock on Thursdays. And Movie Monday, February 23rd, The Way with Martin Sheen. I'm not familiar with that movie at all. Anyway, goes to your public. Macrame Gnomes with Erica, February 24th at 4 o'clock. Macrame. Is that not time?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, okay. I don't know. I probably would hang myself if I started tying a bunch of knots and everything. But
I had today an offering by an artist. They have a 3D printer.
Okay.
And he offered to me to come in with a suggestion. He would print anything within limitations, obviously. Yeah. He would print anything I wanted. So I told him, I didn't answer him right away. Yeah. I'd have to think about it. The 3D printers are so unique.
Yeah.
Just amazed me.
Well, who was the artist at the last seminar that talked about had a 3D printer? Was it
Tony.
Okay.
Was it Tony Newton?
I don't know. It was a big guy.
Yeah,
okay.
Tony.
Yeah.
Yep.
Where he makes things where he has a 3D printer and big sheets of plastic and can make about anything. But what he had, see this, now I feel bad. I can't remember what he was talking about making, but he's done a lot of that.
Yes,
yes. So, and again, I think that's art.
It is. Yeah. It is. By the way, Tony has, and I have the book at home. I will bring it in. I knew we wouldn't have time tonight, but Tony has written, edited, published, or printed, published, and bound a book at his house.
Okay. Is it a novel or?
It is. It's 198 pages.
That's a novel to me. So,
yeah.
Okay.
So I will bring that in and show it to you.
I'd like to see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I found it so interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. As far as I know, that's all that's going on. Remember the coffee with the Green Bean Cafe?
The Green Roast Cafe.
Green Roast Cafe.
You're having a gym moment there, Dale.
Green Bean. That sounds good. But anyway, go on down there and go to Cougars. If you need someplace to eat in Jesup, both those places will treat you right. So
speaking of that, Dale, you got to give a shout out to the people of Jesup. They're having a little bit of a renaissance. Jesup is having a little bit of a renaissance right now with the Green Rose Cafe.
Yeah.
Tim Kimmer played there on Valentine's Day. He was wonderful. Olivia and Tina welcomed him with open arms. There was a nice crowd. Friends came to see Tim play. Yeah. It was a very successful day for Tim. We need to go down to the Cougar and do a show there and eat there, if nothing else.
Yeah, we got a glass of beer. Remember that?
Yes, we did. Right, so
that's the best payola we ever got.
Blake is old enough to have a beer now with us, so we can.
He may not be drinking with a bunch of old guys like us.
All right. Well,
okay.
A few announcements. Don't forget, we are showing Robert Blyadam's coffee right now. Katie Belvins is in the community room. We're showing her art at the Jesup Public Library.
You were a guest speaker here recently, right?
I wasn't a guest. I was a guest speaker at
Study Club?
For the Rural Women's Study Club. What a great organization.
Yeah,
nice people.
Yeah. And what was your topic?
I spoke about accompaniment.
Okay.
And then Joe Olson spoke about the expansion of art in Buchanan County.
Okay. So
don't forget, we have an event at Joe's Pizza, where a makeup event in Manchester would be March 18th, the day after St. Patrick's Day, from 5 to 7. We'll be doing the podcast from there.
Get a free slice of pizza for 100 people.
First 100 people that come in.
And we got entertainment there too, right? Artists.
Right. Tim will be there to sing.
Guitar player.
And we have Billy Joel Olakowski, Katie Kelly, and Rex Nielsen all will be showing and selling their art there that night. So very good. Thank you for reminding me of that, Dale. My mind is racing. Also, don't forget our 24-hour Mustang camera, sponsored by Joe's Pizza in Independence and Manchester. And don't forget the Little Free Art House, located over by West Elementary in Independence. That is free for children. It has art supplies in it.
They had a nice article in the Bulletin Journal about that the other day.
They did.
Yeah, maybe it was a week ago.
Good.
Had a picture.
Good. Thanks again to John Decker. John Decker made a guest appearance at the Green Rose Cafe and brought in his art and shared Valentine's with a bunch of people there that day. John has been such a kind supporter of the Steve Brown Arts Center. We can't thank John enough. Don't forget, you can check us out at our new website, the SteveBrownArtCenter.org, or you can go to our Facebook page. We have a post, at least one post every day. You'll see pictures of Brittney Nelson this week.
Yep.
If you go on there. I want to do a shout out to a band out in Colorado. It's called Letty and the Mountain Gypsies.
Letty, L-E-T-T-Y?
L-E-T-T-I-E.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And the Mountain Gypsies?
And the Mountain Gypsies.
Okay.
So,
well, listen for them on our local radio station.
There you go.
Yeah.
Try, listen for Letty and the Mountain Gypsies. Remember that the day gratitude outweighs your worries are awful good days. If you'd like to donate to the Steve Brown Arts Center or have an idea or an event, go to the SteveBrownArtCenter.org and follow the link. If you have news or would like to sponsor us, email us at jim@SteveBrownArtCenter.org. We are now a 501c3 email, and we're free.
Yeah.
Call 319-290-0241 and leave a message, or you can leave a message under or on our Spotify page. Someone left a message about last week's speaker, Dawn Vogel, about Bess.
Okay.
And I'll share that with you off the air here, Dale.
Okay.
I'm Jim Gillespie with co-host Dale Rueber and producer Blake Tempus. Thanks as always to Kelly Seahouse and Heartland Business and Event Center for hosting us and sponsoring us. Thanks to the audience for bringing these stray dogs into your life. And remember, and there's been a lot of them lately for the Steve Brown Arts Center. Each day is about little victories.